Hello and welcome. Welcome to our full moon, our first full moon of the calendar, the lunar calendar year. I think that the new moon that brought us here at the beginning of April was really something that brought a breath of fresh air. It brought a feeling of newness, a feeling of something exciting, a feeling of something different. And, I think by this time, the April season, like getting towards this month, is that our New Year's resolutions have definitely worn off. They've lost their fire. We're kind of down and out as far as things that didn't work out, that we didn't stick to, that we really weren't that grounded in, obviously, because they faded away. And I love working with the new moon and full moon cycles because we always get an opportunity to redo that. And this full moon is very emotional. There's a lot of emotions wrapped up in it. Being in Scorpio is like a water element, and Scorpio in general is very emotional, and we're celebrating the full moon in that, which is also very tied to emotions. So I feel that very much so on an emotional level, we are going through this full moon phase. I have definitely had a lot of clarity on an energetic level and a lot of healing where I feel like I have healed from a scenario, various scenarios and situations that I've been dealing with for a very long time. And when doing my forgiveness and releasing ceremony for this full moon, I really, on a very fiberistic level, felt that I had released and forgiven these situations and people. And that's a first. That's really a first for me to have that much confidence and clarity on the level of forgiveness and releasing. Because there's always that little thought in the back of my head, like, do I really let this go? Am I really okay with moving forwards without holding on to this grudge or this anger or this pain or, whatever it might be? So on an emotional level, I really felt that come through. On a physical level, I have had several thoughts, ideas, plans, and desires that I just wanted. I just wanted it so bad, and I was convinced that I could have it. But somehow, some way, I got numerous signs that this was not meant to be. This was not for me. Not right now. This was not what I was to be focusing on. And it didn't really get me so angry as normally I would be disappointed, depressed, angry that I couldn't have these things that I wanted. But I really did feel okay with the fact, and it reverted. The reason why I felt okay is because there were these energetic things or emotional things, spiritual things that came up and said, this is what you should be focusing on. This is where your gratitude lies. This is where your life is right now. And it was almost just more of a sense of peace and acceptance rather than, always wanting, always grasping, always desiring. It was more of an energy of being grateful, being where I am right now, enjoying what I'm doing right now, and allowing myself the time and space to continue to grow into what it is that I desire. And for me, this is huge because I am a right now kind of person. I wanted it yesterday. I don't want to wait. I have no patience. I shouldn't say I have no patience. I struggle with having patience with things. And I didn't have those anxious, worry, forceful feelings like I normally would. It was just that acceptance of we are here and now. This is what we are right now. And we can dream and we can manifest and we can make our vision boards and do all of those things, especially with the energy of the new moon. But with the energy of the full moon, it is about releasing. Take the wisdom that you've been given. What lessons have you been given? What answers has shown up for you in subtle ways in your life? What has happened in the last couple of weeks, or even in the cycle since the last full moon, even in the last year? What is it that you need to release? What is it that you need to let go in order for you to be able to be transformed, to be able to keep growing, to move to that space, to that level that you desire? We have to practice. We must practice gratitude. Be grateful for where we've come from, where we've been, and where we are now. Be grateful for the possibilities of where we are going. And to release the things that we feel were hard, were painful, were a struggle. And really give yourself this time and space during this full moon cycle to be grateful for those lessons. Be grateful for the wisdom that was bestowed from these challenging times. Be grateful for the person that you became at the other side. When we're in these scenarios, these situations that can be challenging in a struggle, it's very hard for us to see the positive. But as we give ourselves during this moon cycle, this moon phase, as we give ourselves that space to really look at what have we grown in? Where have we become exceptional? Where we never saw ourselves being exceptional in that space. There are so many gifts, so much abundance all around us in our lives. And I truly believe it doesn't matter where you are right now. If you believe in the abundance is there. You have to work hard sometimes to see it, but it is there. And if there is nothing that you can think of, the possibility of the future is enough to be grateful for. The possibility of when you've reached outside of this particular situation, whenever you've got to the other side, that in itself is enough to be grateful for, knowing that one day this will not be a part of your life. I want to encourage all of you to spend some time today or tomorrow after this. Our full moon was yesterday here in the eastern part of the United States. And I always feel the need to allow the moon to settle in before I act. And so a lot of people will do their full moon ceremonies and things at the time of the full moon. I want to say the full moon was like at 11:30 yesterday, maybe. But I always feel like the energy of the moon for me is very strong, especially on full moon days. And I have to find peace and stillness, or I feel overwhelmed. So I let that go for the day, and then I allow myself time and space within 3 days of the full moon to really sit down, journal, draw your cards, do your prayers, do your manifest or your forgiveness ceremonies, do your gratitude ceremonies, set up your altars, whatever ceremony it is that you practice for the moon. I always like to give it just a little bit of time and allow myself to really feel the fullness and then proceed with my ceremonies. And, you know, I encourage you all, if you haven't done it yet, to take a little bit of time and space to journal, write down what it is that you're wanting to release, what it is that you want to forgive, and what it is that you're so grateful for. And again, you can track this over the last 2 weeks, over the last 30 days. If you haven't done any full moon work for a while, like really just tune into the last year of events and how it's time to let go. It is time to release, and it's time to move forwards. As we move out of that Aries season and into the Taurus season. Like it's really time to let go, like feel into the newness and really allow that to sink in, to release the past. What has happened and it's gone. You know, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can rectify, or that we can erase. But it's definitely time to move forwards and start projecting, you know, the energy that we desire, what it is that we are wanting and how we want to feel. So really in that energetic, emotional space of Scorpio, really focusing on our feelings. As a side note, as I always try to be the reminder, drink your water. Scorpio has a lot to do with, obviously it's in the water element, but it's also very important to make sure that you stay hydrated, and especially during this full moon transition as we move forwards towards the new moon, just remind yourself regularly to drink your water. You know, again, you know, you can go by the 2 liters a day or 8-ounce glasses of water, or, you know, try to drink half of your weight in ounces every day, like whatever thing that you like to follow. Just really try to commit to that hydration level today. So that's what I have for you today for the full moon in Scorpio here, the very tail end of April, as we get ready to move into May and towards our new moon. This is a super moon. It's, you know, has various different names, like the flower moon, a pink moon. There's various different names that come from various different cultures and, you know, indigenous peoples and things like that. But it is a supermoon, and I believe this is one of 2 that we'll have this year. Supermoon meaning that the moon is very close to the earth. So with that, the intensity of the moon is going to be high. So remember that Scorpio is all about transformation and emotions and energetic healing and all these kinds of things. So we may be feeling this at a very high level. And as always, the sun and moon are in direct opposition to each other. So the moon is in Scorpio, water element, very emotional, you know, the yin energy of the universe, all of these things. So we have that on one side. And then we have the sun in Taurus. And Taurus is an earth element, very practical type energy, very down to earth, 5 senses oriented, luxuries and, you know, comforts and things like that. So we have those 2 in opposition, and we're looking to balance between those 2 things. So on a very superficial level, even just the earth element to the water element, is we're looking to stay grounded and fluid. So we're trying to find that balance between being too stubborn, too stuck, too grounded, and just being too overflowing, you know, like an untamed river, or, you know, something like that, where we're just like bursting with emotions and just overflowing. So we're trying to converge those 2 energies and find balance in the middle. We're being balanced between these 2 sides of the spectrum. I hope that you found this information helpful for you. I want to wish you all a happy full moon. And if any of you have any questions, please make sure that you reach out to me. If you are curious as to, you know, maybe what sign that your moon is in, to help you kind of navigate where you are in your own lunar cycles and your own moon cycle. My birth moon is Scorpio, so I am at home in my Scorpion energy for my moon. If this is something that you're interested in, please reach out to me. I would love to work with you and help guide you through this coming year, even the next few months, just to find that grounded balance of, you know, where your moon energy is going to be, where it's coming from, and what that means for you in your life. Again, happy full moon to all of you. I want to thank you so much for spending this time and space with me, and I will see you in the next video.